Welcome. This first section is really designed about you having the conscientious ability to go into every communication that you have going forward where you never, and I mean never, tell someone to do something. Instead, rather, you get them to tell themselves why they should do it. I'm sure many of you are excited to learn this principle. If you are like me, growing up as a child, for instance, we were never happy about the notion of being told, go make your beds, go clean your rooms, all right? Those weren't things that we did with a big smile on our face, right? So for instance, I'll give an example of how that scenario works out in my household. I have two kids, and rather than tell them, Harris and Ruby, go make your beds, all right, this is how the discussion would go. And again, I'm using this as an example. The wording that I use can transcend this situation and go into other situations for you, and I'll probably use some other examples in further clips throughout the course. But for the purpose of making the bed, my discussion in my household would go something like this. Hi Harrison, Ruby, do you like to make Dad happy? And I'm smiling as I ask that question to them. Do you like to make Dad happy? Hopefully the answer to that question is always going to be, yes, Dad, we love to make you happy. So I then turned around to them and said, well, what is something that you think you should be doing right now that would make Dad happy? And they turned around and said, we think we should be making our beds and cleaning our rooms. At which point I then turn around and say, I agree with you. See, the wonderful thing is, without telling them what to do, they've told themselves what to do. And if you can then get to the extra layer where you say you agree with them, they love it. They've now made that idea completely their own. All right. Another example I would say that would help you all here today is it's not good just telling people things. Here's an example of that. I work out at a gym, and just for testing and measuring, I decided at the end of a workout to approach one of the people there that helps with signing up members for the gym. And I said to him, I'm deliberating, walking and going and checking out another gym to see if that would be a better facility for me to use. And before I could say another word, that gentleman just turned around and said immediately, well, that gym doesn't have a basketball court, and that gym doesn't have a swimming pool, and that gym doesn't have the spin cycling room, and that gym doesn't have the racquetball courts. And what it ended up doing is it would make you feel like you're now overpaying to be part of a gym, because if you'd have asked me, I don't use any of those facilities. So at which point, once I shared with him that information, he looked at me quite perplexed. He'd never thought of communication in that fashion. And he asked me, Jamie, what would you have said if someone would have approached you with the same scenario? And I said, look, rather than just telling someone everything that's wonderful about this gym, I would get them to tell me what they love about the gym. So I understand before that you're going to go and check out another gym, I get that. But before you do, can you just share with me all the benefits that you do get from working out in this gym? Now I'm going to come up with all the reasons as to why I love the gym, and it's less likely I'm going to have to go out and check out another gym. So that's a great example. Another example where I find a lot of people tell people, and I've been consulting for, let's say, attorneys, and in particular this situation comes up quite a lot. Attorneys love to talk about how successful that they are, right, and how many cases they've won to a client, and how great they are as an attorney and different from every other attorney out there. The problem is every attorney is doing the same scenario. So rather than tell someone about your wins and how credible you think that makes you, the focus should be more on the client and what they're looking to get out of the situation. See, what I've found throughout the last several years is people will do things that they find an emotional attachment to and then will justify with logic, right? And it could be anything. So a good example to use, and then we'll finish with this section, is I bought a truck. Now, I bought a truck. One, I've become a fully fledged proud American, so it's only the right thing to do is to buy a truck. But when I went along to the dealership to buy the truck, I wanted one of those trucks where I didn't care about the center console. In fact, I wanted the bench seating so I could have my daughter here and my son here, just like you see in the movies, I guess. And I didn't care about anything but the feeling of driving a truck and feeling like a powerful man behind the truck. That's what I valued the most. So as we're looking at the truck, all right, I'm sharing with the gentleman what exactly I'm looking for. And we look at the truck, I sit in it, I feel it, we go for a test drive, it's amazing. Right? I loved the truck. I thought that the value was there just based on that feeling alone. The salesperson then proceeded to start telling me everything else that this truck has as features, all right, on the truck. It's got this stereo system, it's got EcoBoost, it's got this, it's got that. None of these things that I really cared about. So again, the idea behind conscientious language going forward is we are too guilty of having communication with people where we tell people things about ourselves potentially that they don't care about. So the best form of scenario is to always get them to tell you what they value the most and then focus all your attention and communication on those things. I hope that's been very helpful for you today. If there are any individual situations that you are facing in your life where you would love to have more direct communication with me to handle that situation, I will be hosting webinars throughout a monthly basis that you can most certainly sign up for so that we can deal with whatever individual situation it is that you face. Thank you.